All right. So, introduce yourself.
Man, this is Chex Quest HD, newly released. It's a free game on Steam. We are from MyGamer.com. That's Gillman, as always, is playing. I am known as Squall Snake on the site. You can follow me on Twitter at ZackGaz, Z-A-C-K-G-A-Z. And I never had the opportunity to play the original Chex Quest. But I've always heard about it. Speedrunners love this stupid game to play because it's just kind of like a running joke, right? But you played the original like when it first came out, right?
Yeah. So I was reading today that before this, I was reading, you know, oh, they only shipped this for a couple months or whatever, only on like 5 million boxes of checks or whatever, and it only went out for such a period of time, and it's like,
Right.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that for 2 fucking years, all you could find when you got a box of checks, like you would get Chex Quest on it, because
Would it
I
be would it be like a disc in the actual box? Or
yeah.
did you have to mail away for it?
No, it was a CD that came in a box of checks.
Oh,
So
so it was just like
yeah,
like when you buy like a box of cereal and you get the free stupid prize. Like it was just a disc in the
it was
thing.
a
It disc.
full and it was a full game. It was a
Sure.
full retail game that you would get, and so I had a friend that would come over and spend the weekend all the fucking time, and I can remember like my one of my parents was like, "Oh, hey guys, look, a free video game. You love video games." And we were both like, "Oh, this is going to fucking blow." And it was a Doom mod basically. Oh,
Yeah.
you can look up and down. That sucks. Cuz the original Doom there was no up and
Yeah.
down
There was
look.
no. It was just all straight. Sure.
Yeah. So, we were like, "Oh, well, this is going to be absolutely terrible." And we're absolutely convinced that the game was just not going to be good.
Sure. Well,
Uh,
why would
set
you have any expectations from a thing from a
from a
disc
thing
from
you
a
got in a
free
cereal
game? Yeah.
box.
Right.
And so we started playing it, and it was basically a non-violent Doom.
So you just shoot
The Soggies,
like
yeah.
the Sagis, of course.
But I don't know if that's what they're actually called,
They
but
probably that would
yeah,
make a lot of sense. I like Sagis. Let's go with that.
yeah.
Chex Quest HD is a modern multiplayer remake of the classic 1996 first-person shooter adventure game from the same name. Galactic Federation of Snacks outposts on the remote planet of Bazakik, whatever, has been overrun by evil cereal-eating creatures from another dimension. Oh man! Oh, here we go. The slimy
Slimies.
phlemoids. The slimy. They're calling them phlemoids here. I've
Okay,
taken
phlemoids, yep.
I guess because they're just like snots, right?
Yeah.
I've taken the citizens captive, and it's up to you and the Chex Mix Squadron to free them. Thankfully, you have an array of Zorching devices.
You have a
They can send,
Zorch.
yeah, they can send
And you
these
pick up a
invaders back.
balanced breakfast to recover health.
Play as one of 6 unlockable members of the Chex Squad in single-player or split-screen multiplayer. Save the galaxy from the menace. Unlock Chex Quest multiplayer codes through select packages of Chex Quest and the Chex Mix Instagram. So I guess there's like stupid cheat codes that you can do.
Yeah, I know nothing about that. But I was like doing research on this today because I was actually talking to a coworker of mine, and I'm like, "Yeah, you had a PC in the '90s, didn't you play Chex Quest?" And he was like, "No, I have no idea what that is." And I'm like, "How do you not know?" Because like, if you bought a box of Chex within like not from '96 to like I'm gonna say '98, it basically like you got Chex Quest, and it was like everyone I know who played it was just like had the same was the same reaction of this is just gonna be so dumb, and you played it and you're like, this is not bad. And it's like,
I was never a Chex eater. Like I still to this day. I mean, maybe like I've had it before at like parties or something, maybe a handful, but I've never. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever bought like a bag of Chex Mix. So I totally missed out on
well,
this.
like Chex the cereal.
I don't think never had Chex the cereal. Never had the actual like salty snack bag. You know,
Really, your parents never bought you Chex?
No, I don't think I've ever had Chex. Like, I mean, I've had it, but like. I can't ever recall like having it in the house. Like we had like chips and like Fritos and Cheetos and stuff like that. But I can't think of a time we ever had Chex Mix. So I totally missed out on this.
Oh yeah, my parents. We were big cereal eaters in my house. So, yeah, we had. Oh, there you go. So, yep, like a Sally picked up a bowl of vegetables. So,
is this now? Do you remember the game from the mid '90s?
Bits and pieces.
Is this like exactly like how it was? You can just look up and down now.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better. You have to remember, I drank away a lot of that time. So. Like there was a lot of heavy drinking between the mid to late '90s and now. So
yeah, I know this game, or the original anyway, has been like the running joke for like speedrunners. We're gonna play Chex HD and Chex Quest, and like it's just been like a thing that I've seen in like AGDQ or whatever the hell.
Awesome Games Done Quick.
Or Bad Games Done Quick, whatever it's called.
Wouldn't call this a bad game. It's not a super long game.
Yeah, I think that's why they like the streaming, like the speedrunners of it can beat it in 20 minutes or whatever.
Well, and I think one of the things that you also have to like remember is that this was like everyone. If you were to look at this as a full retail game, this is atrocious. This is a garbage game. If you were to look at this as like a free pack-in title,
yes, it's fine.
This is something that came in a box of cereal. That like, they gave. Yeah. This is before the internet. Before they were like, hey, scan this QR code in your phone to get a free app. Like before the internet was like a thing, really. I had the internet, but try explaining that to people. This was possibly one of the best cereal pack-ins of all time. It actually won all kinds of awards for like advertising.
The only other time that I can think of where food was related was all those Xbox Burger King games, right? Like,
yeah.
Can you think of anything else that was like game related?
But you had to pay for those.
You had to buy I want to say any kind of like meal deal,
and then they were $5.
And then they were $5, yeah.
And then Kart Racer was still hard to get. And Sneak King was hard to get.
There was Sneak King, and then like the bumping game, and then a bad Pocket Bike Racer.
Yeah, and you could get Pocket Bike Racer because no one really wanted it. But Sneak King was the one that was like hard to get for a little while because everyone fucking wanted Sneak King.
Yeah, Sneak King was like the hot game to get.
Yeah, because they all came with 1,000 fucking achievements.
That's why I got that was when like Xbox kind of like first came out, and everybody was like loved the achievements. That was the big huge thing. So like to get your hands on any game to get achievements.
Yeah, and it was like $5, but yeah, this was free inside a box of Chex, and I think it came with like 500 hours of AOL.
Everything came with AOL discs. They were all over the place.
Yeah. But it's a free pack-in, so.
And who would have thunk that General Mills would go back and republish this game? This game just came out 2 days ago at the time.
Yeah, this kind
of came out of nowhere.
has like a super loyal fan following. Like, people have very fond memories of this game. And it's funny because I was watching someone play this the other day because they had just announced that like Chex HD was coming out, and they were like, I'll play through all of that, like the original one. And I was watching them play it, and I'm like, oh, I remember more of these levels than I probably should.
I mean, did you play this game like a lot, like hours and hours?
I mean, I was a teenager and I lived in the middle of nowhere.
So yes.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that was
it was just like a CD game. You just like boot up the exe and then that was it. Did you
yeah,
have to,
it was literally a Doom WAD file. So WAD file for Doom is it's just like a modification file for Doom. So it was running off the Doom engine, and it was basically just a custom overlay for Final Doom. That's it.
Very interesting. I wish I would have played this back in the time to like be a part of it and like get the full effect.
Yeah.
But I'm glad to see that they released it on Steam for free. You don't have to pay anything.
Yeah, there was no Kickstarter. There was no Kickstarter. It's just General Mills being
cool just like
about
this is exactly where you don't see that.
Yeah.
Very often.
No.
This ain't my first level.
And they basically just said, hey.
Was the original multiplayer? Because you could play multiplayer with 2 USB key controllers. It says.
Yeah. I don't know. They would have been serial controllers back in the day. So
yeah,
that
like
wouldn't have been
the Gravis pads.
Yeah, that wouldn't have been. I can jump? That's not right. What they should have done is use the Doom 2016 engine.
That would have been crazy. Then they would have had to put money, and then you would definitely pay for it.
Who knows? Well, yeah, it's Bethesda. Bethesda likes money.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah, they do a lot of like shady stuff. It doesn't really care, but
it's interesting that you can look up and down and you can jump in this version, but you couldn't in the original. So I wonder if that, level design had to change a little bit.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Freeze platform.
Maybe. I don't remember this section.
Mm-hmm. Are there any boss battles? I don't know. They didn't mention it in the.
I know at the end of the first Chex Quest, there's a boss battle. It's a wall.
Okay. Those damn walls.
Yeah, they get you every time.
The customer reviews on Steam has 382 reviews, and they are basically, it says it's very positive, in the very positive category.
Yeah, it's... The last time I saw it, I believe it was, like, extremely positive.
This dude says the game could be beaten in about 50 minutes.
Yeah. It was never a super duper long game. So I wouldn't. Okay. Yeah, so this is different because I had to jump to get there, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got to have something to do with the jumping mechanics and the.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much aiming up and down, like it's just so you can maybe see the level, but like you don't. There's not like enemies above you that you necessarily have to shoot.
Normally, I prefer prefer the stairs.
Oh, yeah, this is like the shotgun. When you run out of ammo, you have a spoon.
You gotta spoon them to death.
Yeah.
Are we playing it on easy, or is there even difficulty?
I don't think there's.
They just kind of like stand there until they get shot. They don't
Yeah,
really like
it's
attack.
basically.
Dangerous. It must be the way. Time to climb aboard. I didn't think it was possible, but I feel stronger.
Slime repellent. That's the armor.
This milk could spoil. I better get it out of here.
Like that room right there is a very Doom-looking like room.
On the right track.
Yeah.
We got like the puddle in the middle. You know, you gotta like
Drain it somehow.
drain it or go around it or something. But yeah, it just looks like a Doom, like an original Doom level right here.
And you're gonna drain it, and like the phlegmies are gonna come up.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to waste all this protein.
So this level's got some verticality to it. So this is where it comes in handy, where you can aim up
Well,
and down.
Doom, like, you couldn't aim up and down, but if you just like shot in front of you,
It
the
still
game
would
would normally figure it out.
Exactly.
It's kind of funny because like Doom still the AI doesn't seem to have been updated, but
People still make levels and stuff. It's all open source at this point.
well, Doom's still really fucking the original Doom's still really fucking hard.
Oh yeah, I never beat. I've never beat Doom. Never beat Doom 2. I mean, I've always played it. I own it on, Xbox, and it's on every system,
It's soggy for my
re-released.
taste.
But I've never.
Oh
beaten
yeah,
Doom.
I only ever beat the first. I only beat the Dooms with cheat codes.
That's
like-
the only way you can. Yeah, they do get pretty hard. You just get overwhelmed, kind of.
Oh,
You don't
yeah.
know where to go. Like the level design gets a little obtuse because everything starts to look the same. But yeah, I never beat the original Wolfenstein. I know there was like cheats and stuff. I probably just like warped right to the end and beat it. But
Oh yeah,
never
I used
from...
a lot of fucking no clip back in the day.
Wolfenstein was worse because every single level is just blue hallways. You can't tell where you're going, and there's no map, so
Yeah, Doom.
it's hard to. It's kind of hard to go back to.
Doom has a map that you can open up, but it's
It's smaller. It's not like the whole screen. It's kind of like you can only see a little bit in front of you.
yeah, and if you don't know how it works, it's not great.
Yes, because it doesn't do like verticality well, like the different like levels.
Yeah,
the
it's
floor one,
sort of
floor
like
two.
you get a blueprint.
Yes.
Success.
Be curious to see what the cheat codes are. If there's another no clip, I'm sure there's going to be infinite ammo and infinite health kind of things. But there's any like goofy cheats related.
I think in the first one, the original Doom cheats worked because it was made on like directly on the Doom engine. So if you threw in the Doom, I could be entirely
maybe.
wrong, but
Maybe.
Safety first.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, here we go. The guy who's actually shooting back and takes more than one hit. There you go.
All right, that's
Man, I love adventure.
the new Doom. I mean, Chex Quest.
Chex Quest HD. Not bad for a free game. Nice to see them revive this game that didn't need to be revived. You know, like nobody was kind of, I don't think, asking for an
Yeah, no,
HD
actually,
version
lots
of
of
this.
people were.
But okay, I could be wrong, but it's a surprise to me. But I'm glad they did it, and they didn't charge any money for it, which is, I think, really cool. You don't see, you know, people going back, digging back into their old library, and then remaking games again. You know, for HDify it and then put it out there for free. So that's cool. So good on them. But anyway, we are from MyGamer.com. Go check us out at MyGamer News on Twitter. News, reviews, previews, streams, all that good stuff. And you can follow me on Twitter at ZackGaz, ZackGaz. And until next time, thank you for watching and game on.